So, today we're going to be doing a few things. Mostly getting set up, or like finishing the setup basically. So, starting from the entrance of Raya Lucaria after the first teleporter. You take the one going like northeast. Also, hello.
You, you're. Oh, what a pity it is to be without the right. All you can do is stand at a loss, without even the half crescents that wish to be whole.
So, her dialogue changes depending on if you have the two Dectus medallions, which I think is really cool. And then from here, Bach. And also, you can talk to Melina, and she'll tell you to talk to Bach. I don't know why she says it now instead of in any of the, like, 3 earlier locations. But, whatever. So, Wandering Mausoleum, which we're going to ignore. Because it's a bit of a unique one, because you need to use this to jump up and land on top of it. But you need to wait for it to get to, like, here. So you need to stand around and wait for a few minutes. Which I don't care to do right now. Now you can do that, or you can just go from here and then run along the, like, wall until you get to this point. Where just some normal items. Doesn't matter that much. But I just jumped down out of habit, so. And then all of the tunnels are important. All of the tunnels are very good. But this one specifically is very, very good because of what you get at the end. What you get at the end allows you to buy as many smithing stone 1 and 2 as you want. So long as you have the runes for it. Which is wonderful. Because it makes upgrading early on a lot easier. And then there's also this. This isn't that important, but it's something that you really notice the difference between mouse and keyboard and controller. Because my first run, I did mouse and keyboard. Here I'm using a controller. And you can really tell the difference between the two when you have to do small, tight, precise movements like that. Because this game series, so like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, really not made for mouse and keyboard. Which, I mean, is kind of nice considering most games, well, not most, but the majority of games are. So it's nice for console people to get a win, but man, using mouse and keyboard on these games does not feel super good until you're like 3-4 runs in and you get super used to it. Like, I played the first probably 7 or so runs purely on controller, just so that way I could get used to the game, because I was more familiar with controller. And so I wanted to get used to both, I wanted to get used to just the game, instead of trying to get used to the game and the input system. Ow. And on my first run, when I was completely new to the game, I had everything figured out. Pretty easily by the time I hit Malekith, and I was comfortable with the system. But about 7-8 runs in, when I swapped a mouse and keyboard, it took me a full like 2-3 runs to get comfortable on mouse and keyboard. Wait here for this boil. And then you can shoot them down. And bonk. You really don't need to go into these side areas, but materials. I don't know why there's a pop-up for the smithing stone 1, but not the 2. Like, maybe this is just me not understanding what the developers are trying to prioritize, or what they mean. But I felt like when they had something pop up, it meant that it was more significant. Pop up like this. But sometimes they'll have a random thing pop up. Like over in Gilmere, they have Herba pop up when you pick it up. Which, Herba is this. It is just a normal, basic crafting item that can be commonly found in Limgrave. But over in Gelmir, in Lanedell, or in the Altus Plateau, they make it pop up. But they don't make it pop up in Limgrave, the first area. And it just doesn't make sense to me. Well, that's just a weird little thing I noticed. Like, when you spend too much time trying to figure out things, you tend to notice weird, small details like that. And bonk. So yeah, this is also the point where you start getting threes. But like only really in the tunnels. Which there's only one, maybe two in Liurnia. Oh, yeah, these guys are fun. Nope. Ow. But they're weak to strikes. Which is a different way of saying blunt weapons. There we go. But they take like no damage, and they have a ton of poise until you can break their stance once. Then you can just bully them. But if an enemy falls down on one knee like that, you wait a second or two to get your stamina back, and boom. Smithing Stone, Miner's Bell Bearing 1. To buy all the 1s and 2s you want. That's 3. I knew that I wasn't going to be recording for a day or two, so I set those up to remind myself to be like, hey, this is what you want to be doing. Nope. And back to this hellscape of a world. I mean, it's very well designed, I just don't like dry places. And just looking at this place makes my mouth dry. Also birds. Which you should be very careful of. Because they can be oddly persistent. No. And they are faster than you on your horse sprinting. Which is terrifying. Because that is max speed for the player. And they're still faster than that. Yeah, that's where all the Melania Knights are. I know they have an actual name. Clean Rot Knights, I think. But at some point when learning about them, I was like, they were loyal to Melania. Melania Knights. And that's just what I've called them. No, you are free to stop. There you go. Now you can summon Sister. I don't care to do that, because then you can't use her horse. And there are all these guys here, and I don't feel like fighting him, even with an NPC helper, with all of them. And I don't feel like going around killing them, So you have to kill the Millennium Knight, or else they'll aggro onto you. Like, they will walk over here. Just naturally. But I like to lead them out here. Because for phase 1, those guys just sit back there. And don't do anything. Now, if you can catch him in that explosion, he takes a good chunk of damage. Like that. And then it does take damage on top of that. And you can just cheese him by doing this. It's fun. It's pretty easy. It's very comedic. He's one of the... Yeah, I think he's one of the 2 bosses that I beat on a regular basis without landing a single attack on them. The other being Radahn. So, I think in 1.07... 1.06 or 1.07, I think they changed him a little bit. Where you only get a certain amount of summons. Because the last few runs, like the last 2, 3, maybe 4, like summons alone weren't enough. And so I actually had to hit him a few times. Not a lot, but when he does that little thing where like a circle goes around him, that's him going into phase 2. Where these guys show up. And you can just keep doing the same thing, but also avoiding them. Or you can use range if you want. I don't think it matters too much. Don't walk into that. We're gonna go over here, get Celia real quick. That's just a message where he's like, hey, come hang out. I got a shack. So this is where you can get the sorcery that enemies don't dodge. Again, battle mages don't use it, so I'm not gonna be using it. But you can come over here. For some reason, the Scrappy-Doo T-Rex looking thing, if you come from this way, it just doesn't aggro onto you.
Oh,
But
a
hello.
pleasure to see you. I'd hoped a strap don't fresh. Should you I will teach. Ah, I need her name resting. As promised. Go on. Now let. Well, the work. Can you give us
So that's just him asking you to beat the boss over here. Which I usually do before going and talking to him. Just because of the path that I take. Has the boss coming before. Rain! Yay! Now this place won't be as dry. Also dragons, which are the best designed and the best overall in the series. That almost hit me. But their fights are great. I love fighting the dragons in this game. They're one of the few bosses that can still kill me, which is nice. And also this guy, who, when I first came here on my very first run, I was like, there's no way he's alive. And then he roared. And I immediately left. Like, I heard the roar, I turned around, and I didn't come back for another, like, 80 levels. But for the Dectus Medallion, there's Fort Height, and then this place, Fort Farrow. So you're supposed to light the 3 fires in Celia, and then that opens the gateway, and then you can go through the gateway. If you don't want to do that, then you can just come to Fort Farrow. And you get some neat items. And then you can jump down here. And it gets you to the same place. And you can come over here. And then there's this little thing. And then boom. Celia Hideaway. That's how I tend to figure it out. Which is very consistent. I think I'm going to go straight to 28 intelligence. Use the staff that Battlemages use. But also, got a guy right here. He has a lot of health. That is a lot of health. Oh, I mean, you get away from me. You're supposed to keep your range. Ow. I don't appreciate that. Good sir was rude. Okay. But after I'm done recording, I can farm him, and that shouldn't be too hard. So I can get the stone club then, and then we can start the next video already having that. And that's probably when we'll go and get the Haima sorceries. Also Millicent. There's a spot where she can invade you in the swamp. And considering she has waterfowl dance, it is not very fun. But if you want to, you can do it. I don't know the exact location, because it doesn't really have any landmarks, because it's just swamp, but with rot. Oh, hello.
I have the need. Will you give it? I will reward. Tend it to a wretched.
Yep.
That I would show. Well, I'm the one mere bear she
Yep.
is. But the rotting, I doubt that. Oh, I'm.
So that's just him explaining why he cares about this random person. Yeah, I know.
Well, my flesh, it is a cup.
Stab yourself with this needle.
Never mind. I would rather than some. Would you mind?
You decided.
Well,
Why do you feel so sleepy? Probably because you got stabbed with a needle, and that hurts.
my apology. Everything, even the nightmare. Not that I could ever.
Thank you.
With the needle, my destiny. It's all thank. My name is Min. With the needle, my destiny.
Yep. I think I forgot, as is pretty normal with me apparently. I forgot one line of dialogue in the last run. Don't know why that always happens with me, but it happens. Hello.
Oh, something. So I decide. But I've only perhaps. Well, I must.
Yes, you must. And so there are two main things for us to do. We can do Impassable Great Bridge to fight Radahn, which sounds atrocious. Or we can go to over. Well, it would be Raya Lucaria. Get the Red Wolf. Get the key. Bring it back to Thops. Then go up here to not here, it'd be somewhere else. Here to get the Hyma sorceries. I think I want to do Radahn, which is 100% a bad idea. 10,400. Okay. Yep. Yeah, we can do 5 and 5. We should probably go a bit more into health, but also Radahn has a tendency to one-shot when you're a low level. It's like, I don't think you're supposed to fight Radahn at level 42. That just doesn't seem quite right. But what do I know? Hello, Jester.
Champions, welcome.
I thought these were players when I was new.
The festival is nigh.
Like real players.
General Radahn, mightiest demigod of the Shattering, awaits you.
Yep. Cool cutscene, but
now,
no.
oh, the cell.
I thought those were real players until I started playing offline. Because I usually play, like, whenever a new FromSoft game comes out, I'll play the first, like, 5-ish runs online. So I can get, like, messages and stuff. And then after that, I play offline. So that way I can just focus purely on the game itself. And then I also tend to play the game muted. So that way I can, like, listen to podcasts or YouTube. First part of the fight is just dodging those. Because every single one of those that hits you is either instantaneous death or a flask. Which neither one of those are good for your chances of winning. Because, like, if you're using flask before the fight even really begins, maybe it's time to just accept the L and go again. Yeah, patches Bales back into his own world. Oh, I thought that was gonna hit me. Good. Oh, already dead. Now, alright, well, he decided to dip already. Ooh, I did not do that well. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. I pressed down on the D-pad when I should have pressed up. Alright, there are 2 summon signs over there. One was him. Okay. Dude. Oh. Like I said, normally I don't even attack Radahn. Because at this low level, he has a strong tendency to just one-shot the player. And if he doesn't one-shot, then he hits you and he stuns you for so extremely long that he just gets a second shot on you, and that kills you. The only reason I'm making an exception here is because range. So I can stay out of his range while landing hits. Yeah, he usually comes for you on those that ow. Heal to keep the horsey up. Alright, so I can go in for this then. Good. Oh god. Oh god. I got too greedy. For those attacks. you want to stay near a hill. Like, you want to stay on top of a hill, so that way you can just easily go and, like, get behind it. So that way he just hits the ground. That was a little rude. Or you want to jump off your horse immediately, and then roll. And where are you coming from? You're coming from there. For that, you want to tend to just pick a direction and then go. Yeah, like this. So like, he just hits the ground with those safely. Last cerulean here. Now, that was rude. And you're one hit from death. Someone can hit you. Okay. Do. There we go. I was gonna say cutscene. Cool cutscene, but no. Now, if you want to, from the site of grace, you just go like north, maybe slightly northeast, and there's that giant wall of rock there, and then over there's the ocean, and where those two places meet, there's a hero grave.
Ah, what the glory of the and falling star. I can't fathom. He was a living. And the path is now to Nokra. Let's meet. We'll take our butt.
Yep.
And we'll go. My only purpose, the curtain's right.
Yep.
Then we'll go into my only purpose, the curtain's right.
Yep. But you can do that. I don't want to. But it's got a few good things in it.
Aye, one hit after that, and as such, as luck, if I and you know, who could expect? Just you wait. Who could expect? Just you wait.
But you want to do that before going to Altus Plateau. And then you can do that. Which I'm not going to yet. Because it's only been 38.5 minutes. We still have time to try the Red Wolf. Maybe not beat them, but try them certainly. Okay. Yeah, this should be good. Nice. That looks like a no. Ungrinding it. So 13-4. Okay. Okay. Yeah, typically want to get a level in, so that way, like, get a level in before going into a boss. So that way you don't lose a bunch of runes if you die. Ow. once you get to Altus Plateau, the best major area, you don't need to worry about that. You are free to ignore me, sir. Or ma'am. Person. Whatever you are. Do I have enough for you? I am 1 FP away. Yikes. Well... oh, we had one more. Ow. Ow. You do a lot of damage. Yeah. The Red Wolf is not very fun. In my eyes, because they're very fast, they're very mobile. They do a lot of damage, they have range, they have melee. I pressed circle and I didn't dodge. Can you hear me annihilating my circle button and just not dodging? I certainly can. I can hear it through my headphones. Can you hear me annihilating my circle button? Because I can. Leave me alone, you trapezoid freak of nature. Oh. And like... yeah, I know, they don't have much health. Which is supposed to, like, balance it out. But Jesus Christ! That fight simply is not fun for me. Which, like... I'm not saying that those fights, those kind of fights can't be fun. I mean, Malekith is one of my favorite fights. Which... He has the same general idea. Glass cannon, high mobility, high damage, like very high damage. But to me, Red Wolf just isn't done super well. Whereas Malekith is. Like, Malekith, it's more clear when they attack and what their attacks are and how to dodge. Not really clear with the Red Wolf. Like, sure. Nope. But that's not who I wanted to lock onto. But take the, like, step forward bite move, for example. Kinda hard to tell when they're going to do that and how to dodge it and I mean, like, where to dodge, just generally. Because it's like, do you dodge forward? Do you dodge back? I don't know. I fight them every run. Still have not figured out how to dodge that move. Whereas with like Malekith, if you take his, I don't know how to classify the attacks, but the one where a bit rude. But the one where he like jumps into the air and throws 2 or 3 projectiles and then ends it by throwing himself at you at high speed. The first time he did that, it killed me. Because of course it's going to. It's fast and it does all the damage. But it killed me the first time. And then the second time, I figured out part of it. Like, I figured out the first half of it. So I figured out how to dodge the projectiles that he threw. He still hit me with the flying in thing. It didn't kill me, but did a lot of damage. And then I died to something else. The third time I fought him, I figured out how to dodge it entirely. So all it took was 3 attempts for me to figure that out. And that was on my very first playthrough. Still have not figured out how to, like, properly dodge the Red Wolf's bite attack. Because, like, sometimes rolling forward looks like it's good. But you also press yourself against them. That, my screen went black for a second. That's... I don't know what happened there. That has never happened to me before. That was interesting. I don't know what happened. I don't want to know what happened. I just want it to not happen again. I know that as soon as I go down there, he's gonna be on top of me. And just beating me over the head. Or that. That's how I always get him, because he does a lot of damage and he swings very quickly. Which is no. That's no good. But there are two things we want here. Alright, no. First thing. Hi. Is right here. Dude, Glintstone Wet Blade. Which lets you add magic or frost. Which I'm going to be adding frost to the stone club. Because one, it's a stone club, it's made out of stone. Stones are usually pretty cold. But also, it builds up frostbite, which is a nice little status effect. But also, it scales. I don't think it scales super well with strength, but it scales with strength and intelligence. Which, considering we're doing a Battlemage run, where we're primarily leveling up strength and intelligence, seems like a pretty good idea. We're at 52 going on 53 minutes. So I think I'm going to go get the key. And then we can end it there. Ooh, spike spear. Not using it this run, but that's neat. I'm not sure if I've ever gotten that before. If I have, it would have been like once a while ago. No. Oh, poor guy. Normally, you come back here and you hide and you wait for them to come up. And then you take on these guys. Because if you try to fight everything at once, it's very easy to get overwhelmed. Especially when they're doing different things. Like, you got one that is using range, you got one, well, 3 that are using melee. It can be easy to just get overwhelmed by being outnumbered and them having multiple strategies. love that you can see that from like 4 different places. That's what made Dark Souls get its reputation for being interconnected. At least part of it. Hello. Jump. Marionette. Soldier. Good. One more. Sorry, friend. So there is some other stuff here, but we are kind of running low on time. So, doop. Academy Glintstone Key. And we can bring that back to Thops. Next time. After we kill this little crab. I'm just gonna finish out this small little area. Because it can be done pretty quickly. Kick. That leads down to basically the entrance into Raya Lucaria. Hello. Yeah. Outside of that specific attack, these guys are fun. That specific attack is 3 high damage explosives, which not great, but yeah.